Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Marcus. I'm one of the Senior Customer Success Managers here at Sendible. And I'm excited today to present one of our new networks. We are almost ready to launch threads into the atmosphere and give you guys access and the ability to publish your post on a brand new network, which is really exciting. Before I share my screen and start today's webinar, just give a minute or two for people to join us. And for those that have joined us on a regular basis, you should know by now that we like to start off with a bit of an icebreaker. And I'm going to ask you the icebreaker, and you can add your answers in the chat tab. So on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, you should see a few tabs. You have a chat tab where it looks like a few people are saying hello, and you've got a questions tab to the left. If you have any questions related to today's topic, please drop them into the questions area, and I'll make sure that I have some time at the end to go over, review, and answer your questions. So what is the icebreaker today? I am in the UK, if you can tell from my accent, and we are getting close to spring. Which is great because it's absolutely freezing. What I want to know from you guys is, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when it's springtime? What's the kind of thing you like to do first when the sun pretends to come out? Me, I'll go with the obvious. I like to get outside, touch a bit of grass, and actually take it in. As in London, we do not get a spring. Will probably be about a day or two. Let's see some of the answers. Daniela, hiking, that is awesome. And likes to see the cherry blossoms. We've got a few gardening people, which is great. I don't have a garden, so that's far from my to-do list. Walking to the farmer's market. Oh, lots of garden experts as well. Awesome. Maybe I'll include that as a theme in one of my next webinars. Spring for me means allergies with Creed. Oh, sorry, Creed. Sorry to hear that. Right. Keep those answers coming in. It looks like if this was a poll, I think gardening would be the clear winner. But I'm going to share my screen whilst I keep an eye on some of those answers. And you should, in just a few seconds, be able to see my calendar, which is great. So you should all be familiar with the calendar view, which is great. All right, so good news. We are almost ready to give you access to Threads, which is the new network owned by Meta. And I'm going to give you a sneak preview today on what we can do. So first things first, I'm logged into my test environment, and I'm going to head over to profiles and add profiles. Okay. So what you will see is that we've got a couple of new additions, which you won't see on your dashboard yet, and that's Threads and soon coming Blue Sky. But we're going to focus purely on Threads today. So what can we do? We can add multiple Threads accounts, and we can start to direct, publish, schedule, seek approval for our content going out to this platform. So you may notice I have a Threads tab open here, and I'm not logged in. And this is going to be quite important because when you add your Threads account, if you're already logged in to a Threads account, it's going to automatically add that profile. So best practice is log out of your existing sessions, head to add profiles, and then you can begin the process of adding your Threads account. So let's hit the add button, and it's going to take us to Threads. So you will see a new tab open. And it's going to ask me to log in. Okay. Oh, it actually says that I'm previously logged in as Mr. Dubs. So that's interesting. Let's go ahead and continue. I was doing some testing before, so it's probably held on to that cookie. So the Mr. Dubs Threads account has been added. If I go to my profiles here, you can filter by profile type, and we've got a new type that we can filter by. And you can see that my Mr. Dubs account has been added. Okay, so if I was to go and try to add another profile, it kind of knows that I'm logged in. So it's going to do the same approach and try and add the same profile again. Okay, now it won't allow you to add the same profile again. So if I go through this process, it takes me back here, but it hasn't added Mr. Dubs twice. It's still going to be the single instance of that account. So if you do need to add another one, let me make sure that I actually do log out of Threads. Okay, so this will log me in as Mr. Dubs in just a second, and then I'll use the option to log out. So this is the Mr. Dubs profile, and I'll use the option to log out, which I thought I had done initially. So now the next time I add a Threads account, so let's go to add profiles, do that process again. This should take me to a login page where I can then log in to the account that I want to add. So I've already added Mr. Dubs82. Let's go and add another account. So I've switched my login details, hit login, and then we should just have to hit confirm. And you can see I'm now continuing as a different user. Okay, and that's been connected. If I hit OK, this tab will close and I should be returned straight back into Sendible. And then if I view my profiles, I will now filter by the type, hit the refresh button, and there you go. I've now got 2 profiles for that account. Now, it works in the same way as when you add your Facebook, LinkedIn, X accounts, etc. That once you add an account, you are going to be the account owner. So at this stage, only me in my dashboard can compose to those 2 profiles. Okay. Now, you may want to give your team access to these profiles that you've added. And if you've been using Sendible for a while, you know there's 2 ways to achieve that. You can hit the 3 dots and you can either share the profile with someone. So I can share the profile with another user. So I should have another Marcus here. Okay, so now that Mr. Dubs profile is available in my dashboard and it's been shared with Marcus Demo. So if I look at Marcus Demo and impersonate Marcus Demo, he doesn't own that profile. But if I look at profiles that have been shared with me, then I can see that that Threads account has been shared by the main user, which means that my compose box will allow me to publish a profile because it's been shared with me. The other way to give access to another user is by going to the profiles you own, and you can transfer the ownership. So rather than sharing, which gives me and Marcus Demo access, I can transfer the ownership. So if I don't want to be the owner of this account, rather than sharing it, I can transfer the ownership to a user that is not shared with. So I can transfer it to Marcus Demo. And then that means I, Marcus McClellan, will no longer be the owner and the ownership's been transferred to Demo. Now, I said something quite important there is that you can't transfer a profile to someone that is already shared with. So Mr. Dubs is shared with Marcus Demo, as we know. If I then try and transfer, Marcus Demo is not in this list. So I would need to unshare and then transfer. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So that's 2 Threads account that I've added to the dashboard, shared one, transferred the other. Okay, so if I go into Marcus Demo and we look at my profiles, you can see it sits on that level as if it's owned by Marcus Demo. Let's transfer that back to my main account. Perfect. Remember, if you have any questions on what I'm doing, add your questions in the questions tab and we will have time to review those afterwards. Okay, so let's switch back to my dashboard. And you can see we are back to where we were. A few other options that you've got when you are managing a profile, when you own a profile, is you can edit, reconnect, and tag your profile, depending on the plan that you're on. So once again, if I hit the 3 dots, we've looked at share and transfer. But if you are willing to add custom tags to your profile, you have to prepare the tags first but you can just hit tags, and then you can start filling the custom information for that profile. If you hit the edit button on a Threads account, we'll give you the opportunity to tag, transfer, share, as we've spoken about, but you can reconnect your profile as well. Okay, so once again, make sure you're not logged in when reconnecting, because if you're logged into a different Threads account, it's actually going to add that account that you're connected to. You also have the option to rename your account here. So if you want to give your account a internal reference that will be seen in the compose box and other areas, you can customize your name. So this is Mr. Dubs, and I can say for Sendible. Okay, so I've now customized my profile name, and that will appear throughout the dashboard. So if I scroll down, you can see Mr. Dubs for Sendible is now the name available in the compose box. Okay, excellent. Let's select Mr. Dubs for Sendible, and then we can start to build and take a look at the different sort of post types that is supported here. So the first thing is sort of that sort of text and an image that you might want to post. So if I just grab myself some text here, I can enter my text as I would creating a normal post, and then I can go ahead and attach my media. So I'll just go into my media library and take an image that I've used before. Okay, now when composing new messages, if anything goes wrong, we will highlight that there's an issue. And in this case, it's the incorrect aspect ratio for the network that I'm publishing to. So we have a great image editor. So I can just hit the pencil icon to open the image editor. And because I'm actually in the Threads tab, the image editor is really giving me the presets available for me to publish on Threads without running into any issues. So this is a landscape image. Let me go with the landscape crop. Then I can just decide, which side of the image I want to use. So this is going to be the crop that I want. I can hit save, and that will just add that new version of the image into my compose box and remove any warnings that I had that could prevent me from publishing. Another good point is that Threads, along with Facebook, supports alt text. So if you wanted to add alt text to your image, you simply click on the image where it says alt, and then you can add a description of your image, which would then be picked up by screen readers and anyone that has sort of those accessibility tools to read the page aloud. So alt text is supported by Facebook and Threads, and hopefully in the future, more platforms will allow us to add alt text to the images. Okay, we also have the preview option, so you can get a preview of your post before it goes live and how it will be rendered on that network. And we can go ahead and send. So let's go ahead and send that live. Okay, and before we actually go to the platform and see how it appears live, let's do another test with a different sort of post type. So once again, we can select Mr. Dubs for Sendible. We can add our copy. And in this case, let's go ahead and add a carousel. Let's build a carousel post together. So we can go in to our media library and attach a few images. So this one is the one that I just used, hence it's not giving me the warning anymore, which is great. Any images that you use are automatically saved and stored in the media library tab, so you don't need to upload the same image again and again. Okay, and let's just go ahead and build ourselves a nice carousel. Okay, now for users that are used to building carousels on Instagram, you will know you need to go into the specific network tab should you want to reorder the content. So right now I can't drag and drop these images to reorder my carousel, but I can go into the Threads tab, and if I wanted to reorder, then it's really easy just to drag and drop and change the order of those images. Yes, there you go. Okay, and then once again, you can preview the post, and we will give you a proper preview of how that image would appear once published. So let's go ahead and send this now as well. And then another post type that we support is the ability to post links as well. So let's, for our final test, we can say view, our web page, and then I can enter a URL, and then that would produce or create a link preview. So let's enter the URL here. That will shorten to bit.ly, produces a link preview. Let's go ahead and add the Threads profile. Get a preview, and you can see it's put together our preview with the headline text, which is going to be clickable once it's published live, which is exactly what we want. So let's hit escape and send now. All right, perfect. So we've got 3 posts that have gone out, one with a single image, one with a carousel, and one with a URL. So if we look at our sent section, we should start to see in a few minutes these posts going out. And if I log in to Mr. Dubs, fantastic, then we should start to see how those render online. Is it going to log me in? Let me hit the refresh and try again for you guys. All right, this should take me to the Mr. Dubs profile. All right, so if I have a look here. Oh, no, it's just taking me to the other profile. Okay, this is actually Threads, not Sendible. So let me log out and actually try and log into the correct account. Not Marcus, but Mr. Dubs. Yes, yep. Sorry about that. It must know that I am on a live webinar. We're looking for the picture of a car here. So let's see. Yes, excellent. Okay, so when we hit Mr. Dubs, we've got our carousel, which was the second one. So we are waiting for one of the posts to arrive, which is the link. But we have our first one, which is great. If I click the image, it opens in full screen, which is what I expect. The carousel allows us to engage with the carousel as expected. And if I hit the refresh button, I do expect to see the third one that we tried, which is view our web page. Now, if I click here, I expect this to open in a new tab and take me to sendible.com via the Threads URL. I guess it's doing a bit of tracking there, but you can see that works just. So really types. We have video as well, but I won't, have you guys watch, but it would post and work in the exact same way. A few other things to note is this network will work with our same tools. So once again, if you are in the Compose, you can ask the AI to generate you the posts for Threads, and it would work in the very same way. I showed the previews. Another thing to note is, because it's a valid profile type, the profiles can be added to a profile list. So as an example, I've got a Point MMA profile list that has 2 profiles. I could add my Threads account to that list like so. And then next time I'm composing to the Point MMA profile list, it's going to know that there is a, it's going to know that there's a Threads account in there. And you can see it's actually giving me the character limit for all of the networks present in that list as well. So it kind of filters through to all areas of the Compose box and of the dashboard. All right, excellent. So I think I've kind of shown you everything that we can do currently in phase 1 of this release. The good news is, for everyone here, you are going to get early access. So we're going to note down everyone's email, and throughout next week, maybe not first thing on Monday, but throughout next week, you will start to notice that you will have that exclusive early access which is really exciting. All right, let me review some questions and see if I can help answer any questions here. I think there were some questions put into the chat, so bear with me and let me see if I can find them. So I think the first one was from Amanda. She's asked, when transferring profiles, does that mess with any of the scheduled posts? Potentially. I would definitely recommend that you export all of your scheduled posts, which you can do in a list. So for example, if you go to scheduled, this is my test account, there may not be many things scheduled, but you can use the filters here. So you can filter by a specific profile. So we've got Zoe testing, or any profile you like. You can then export. Okay, so then if you need to import into a dashboard that has that new profile, you can import those posts and just simply add that profile that you transferred. Okay, because if you do remove the profile from one person's dashboard, as in you've transferred it away, it's going to no longer be associated to the post that that person created. Andrew, hi Andrew, he asked a question. Is Threads actually any good for driving traffic, or are we just providing free content for Meta? Andrew, it kind of just depends on your audience. Each network is going to have its pros and cons for generating traffic. It just kind of depends, is Threads going to have the demographics that you're looking for? I don't think any network is worth just ignoring or writing off. It's always worth testing and seeing if you're getting the results that you desire. Joshua has a question, and I think you've just answered Andrew's question. It says, depends a lot on your audience. We have some brands that do well on Threads and some that don't. Yeah, Joshua, that's exactly what I mean. So it kind of depends on your business, your target audience, and where they spend their time, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We just want to make sure that we give you the tools to get your message in the right place. Matthew asks, can you add people or locations to post on here? That I hope will be at a later stage. So currently, no. But remember, this is just phase one, and we never take our foot off the gas. We always try and look for ways to improve. So hopefully the future will see us to support reporting and have the ability to have a social feed like we do with Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So right now, Matthew, is more of watch this space to see what the team can do in the future. The sneak peek of what's next, as you probably saw when I was adding profiles, is the Blue Sky network. But once we get those networks in a good place for publishing, we'll start to enhance our features, as I said, reporting, social feeds, which will allow you to do more community engagement. I see Chelsea is typing, but please don't be shy. If you've got any questions, add them into the chat or into the questions tab. Andrew has asked about another network, which name I always mispronounce, Mastodon. That is under consideration. The more people that ask for Mastodon and other networks, the more that my product team can prioritize. Right now, Threads and Blue Sky were the ones that were being requested the most, and therefore that's why they are being prioritized. But Andrew, it is being spoken about, and hopefully one day we will see more networks added. Chelsea, will Pinterest be integrated into the socials for scheduling in the future? Pinterest historically used to be on the platform. We had to restrict access because people wasn't publishing to Pinterest the way Pinterest likes. So we had to restrict access, and we are reviewing the future of Pinterest in the second half of this year. So stay tuned. I don't have any concrete news, whether it's going to be a yes for all or if it's still going to be sort of behind this sort of wall, but I'm hopeful that we'll be able to reintroduce it to all. I think Amanda has a question. Oh, you're welcome, Chelsea. Okay, just make sure I'm not going to miss anyone. Amanda asks, is there a webinar scheduled for Blue Sky yet? As soon as Blue Sky is in a position to demo, there will be a webinar. I think we are looking for an April release. So I'm going to, and don't quote me on this, but I think we'll have a webinar at the end of April. But good to see that you're excited about that, Amanda. And I hope Fred's is going to offer you some value between now and then. Loads of questions today. Excellent. Michelle asks, I cannot delete posts or comments on Instagram on Sendible, but I can for Facebook. Will you be able to delete threads? The answer is no. Not yet, anyway. The reason you can delete on Facebook, Michelle, is because the social feed gives you the option to delete. So on the social feed, I've got the delete option for Facebook, which you rightly mentioned isn't available on Instagram or LinkedIn. Now, because we don't yet have a social feed for Threads, I can't confirm or deny if what the features would look like, whether the API allows us to edit or delete published posts. So once again, stay tuned. Once we have the threads in the social feed, which basically gives you a real-time view of your Threads account, so you'd have a view of all your threads, and then hopefully we'll have those native options to decide whether we can repost, delete, edit, etc. Okay, but no promises yet, Michelle. You're welcome. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for the engagement and all of the questions. It really does help me and the team kind of learn and understand how you guys would use this. So please don't be shy. If there's any questions you have in the future, reach out to either support@sendible.com or to your success manager, either marcus@sendible.com or the success inbox success@sendible.com. All right. Any last questions before I let you go and enjoy your Thursday evening / afternoon, depending where you are? No, I think everyone is saying thank you. Did we get a recording of these webinars? Amanda, as soon as the webinar is finished, the video will be processed and sent to everyone. So yes, you will get a recording. They're also uploaded on our portal as well. So if I just take you over to support.sendible.com, our webinars are hosted here as well. You can actually, have we moved them? Where's our edge? So we've got our deep dive webinars in the footer. It will be processed. So if you needed to see any webinars, old and new, you can access them all here. And I do forgive me for some of my bad hairstyles that I've had over the years, but they're all stored on our portal. Will we get an email when Threads is already on? Yes, when we give you guys early access throughout next week, we will email and give you a heads up that you can now start to add and publish your Threads content. Good question, Creed. All right. Okay. Well, I think I'll let everyone. I thought I saw another question. No. Okay. I'll let everyone go. Once again, thank you so much for attending. Thank you for all of your questions, and thank you for choosing Sendible. Everyone, have a great week. Enjoy your weekends, and I look forward to seeing you again in the coming months. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Goodbye.